Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm gonna do my weekly reading update for April 14th, 2019. So I had an interesting reading week. I read some really great books, and then I didn't read so great books, and then I'm starting to read some good books again. So I'm gonna go through the stuff that I finished, the stuff that I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm gonna read in the next week. So last week I was reading the fourth book in the Other series by Anne Bishop. This is Marked in Flesh. I really love this book. Of course, I've loved this whole series when I discovered it from January. And I am so glad that I've read this series. And book 4 was just phenomenal. I loved this book. It was just so much fun. So this is an alternative urban fantasy. It's an ensemble cast. It was just epic. I just loved it. Anyway, it has to do with humans who live kind of on the outskirts of the world, kind of are the North American continent, and they mostly live close to bodies of water. And the others are renting them land because really the others own, or they, it's their land, and humans are trying to get more land. And so there's a conflict between humans and the others on who has what rights and who can have what land and stuff. So, but then there's also this small community in what would be northern New York, and in this courtyard in this town called Lakeside, there is a blood prophet who meets all the others who live in the area, and then it's the relationship between the people in this courtyard. It's much better explained better in the book. I don't know how to explain this, but it has to do with, it has vampires and werewolves, but it also has a lot of humans, like the cops who work, who live in the area and also are trying to keep the peace and stuff. And from book 1, it's a really good ensemble. You get a lot of perspectives, you get a lot of different point of views. I just really enjoyed this. And of course book 4 was just, it was like all the stuff was coming together. So I read this really fast. I really enjoyed it. Another 5-star read for me. And then I did what I said I wasn't going to, but I did anyway. I picked up the 5th book, Etched in Bone. So this is the 5th and final book in the Others series. And this was not what I expected. And after I finished it, I did check Goodreads, and there was a lot of people who were disappointed in this book and didn't like it, but I loved it. And it was a choice the author made that I did not expect. So I think she did a really good job on this. It is a very quiet novel compared to the other urban fantasy novels in this series, the other action-packed stuff. There is still action in here. It's just so much different. It's much more relationships and dealing with the fallout of what kind of happened in the other books. And I think it was really well done, really. It was a surprising end to a series. I still am like, I would have switched 4 and 5, like somehow made that work, but I also know why she did it this way, because I can see that there was a reason for that. It was very interesting. I was not expecting it, but I really loved it. So I have loved this whole series. As I said, I started it in January after a try a chapter tag. Best thing I ever did. I love this series, and I am so glad I read it. I am gonna try to wait about a month or two, at least end of May, early June, before I pick up Lake Silence, which is the first book in the World of the Others series that's by her. She has 2 books out on that right now, and I'm just gonna wait. It's a little different because it's not gonna have the characters that I know. I don't know if we ever hear about these characters in there. I hope so. That would be kind of cool. But I know it's somewhere different, and it has a whole different cast. And it also is weird because it has a first-person perspective and third-person mix, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. It'll be interesting to read it, but I'm gonna give myself a break because I only have 2 more books in this series. Now, I have discovered that she has many other series, or at least 2 or 3 other epic fantasy series that I'm going to look into, but I'm going to give myself a break before I read another of her books. But I'm sure you'll see more Anne Bishop on my channel here, not very long. Anyway, so that was epic. I read those so quickly. I think I read both of those books like in 2 to 3 days each, and for 490 page books, that is really good for me. I don't usually read books that fast at all, but I was dedicated, and I actually didn't watch any television or booktube when I got home on Monday and Tuesday night. I think I just read, and it was just, I mean, it was kind of nice in some ways, but I don't normally do that. I read them really fast, but I really, really enjoed them. So anyway, I got to Wednesday and I'm like, well, what am I going to read? Because Tome Topple, again, this is on Sunday, so Tome Topple started on Saturday. And I didn't want to start anything too big because I wanted to read something before I started something on Saturday, but I didn't want to start early. I know I could have, but I just didn't. I thought, oh, I'll just read something short in between. So I picked up a cozy mystery thinking that would do it. So I picked up A Dark and Stormy Murder by Julia Buckley. This is the Writer's Apprentice Mysteries. I guess this is book 1. And I was really hoping to love this. I think I saw this on Bree Hill in March Mystery Madness. I think it was her channel. It was I know I saw it on somebody's channel during that month. And I did buy this right away. I thought this is a perfect cozy mystery for me. Because again, I'm getting to the end of the one cozy mystery series I do read, which is the Sheriff Dan Rhodes Mysteries by Bill Kreider. So I was kind of looking for something else to kind of take that place because I only have one more book of that series. And I thought, well, this one's kind of right up my alley about a writer and this girl, this young woman who goes to be her apprentice in a way. Or, you know, I think she's going to be doing some ghostwriting kind of thing, but I think they're working together kind of thing. So she's Lena is a grad student who gets this fantastic job with her favorite author, Camilla, and she moves to Blue Lake, Indiana, and lives in this big fancy house. And you can see there's two German Shepherds and a cat, and the German Shepherds are Camilla, the writers. Camilla's it's her Rochester and Heathcliff, and the cat is Lestrade, which is Lena's cat that's from like Sherlock Holmes. It was cute. Anyway, so there's a lot of cute aspects. This is definitely a cozy, and I do think people who like cozies are going to like this, but I did not get along with this. I did get pretty far into it. So it's like 292 pages. I got to 146. I got halfway, and then I threw it on the floor. So, not really. I threw it on a desk. I was at work and on my lunch break, and I read the scene in the middle of the book, and I was like, that's it. I'm done. So this is like classic, I mean, it's cozy, and again, there was a murder, and so there's people, you know, everybody's like small town talking about it, and it's not, you don't really know why yet. This is because again, it's only halfway through, but there's a next door neighbor who's kind of been a recluse because he a year ago was suspected of killing his wife when they lived in New York, and so then he moved here to be away from it, and she gets to know him a little bit, like a couple of days she's been here, not even that long, and she's talking with him, and he's told her some stuff about it because she asked questions and he did answer and stuff, and then something happens and she believes him whole, like lock, stock, and barrel. Like, no, there's just not enough time for me. I did not believe it. My eyes were rolling half the time in this book when she would say something. And again, I don't have a problem with thinking some guy's attractive and not wanting to believe that he maybe killed his wife, but that's not enough for me. I'm more of a skeptic. And so I didn't get along with this. I think people who are more into cozies, I would love to hear what they think about this book. And if they were able to get past that scene on, you know, in the middle of the book, because I was like, no, oh no, we're done. And that's it. I was done. So another book to the resale pile. It's quite growing. Anyway, so I didn't get along with this. It was kind of sad. So I'm a little upset that another book is being DNF'd. And that also comes to me of telling you about Dissolution. Remember, I did rant about this last week. I still feel the same about this. And I have not picked it up all week. I was going to read that last 90 pages or skim it and find out how it all wrapped up. And now a week later, I went, I don't care. And so this book is just going to get sold. I'm done. It's really sad. I did think for a while that I was going to try to skim this, but every day I would look at it and going, no, I'm not touching that. No, I'm done. So, and again, that was a whole emotional dude. I'm still not sure what's going on with him. So, I didn't touch my audiobook, so The Calculating Stars. Here it is. I didn't touch this at all. I'm not in an audiobook mood right now, so maybe next week. I just haven't wanted to listen to any of that in my car. And because this week I was reading so much of the others early in the week, and then in the end of the week I was just trying to read that mystery I didn't like. I didn't pick up the Unabridged Journals of Sylvia Plath. I'm hoping to get back to trying to read a little bit of every night this week. With Tome Topple, I'm thinking I'm going to need something else to kind of read a little bit once I, read enough of that one. But we'll see. I still want to make some progress on it this month. I just haven't made any effort, really. So I DNF'd A Dark and Stormy Murder on, was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday at work. And I was not happy. I was just, anyway. So, I kind of looked around. I'm like, well, I can either reread something, I said, or I could start my Tome Topple early. And I decided not to start the Tome Topple early. I decided to reread something. And does anybody want to guess what I picked? Maybe you wouldn't guess the right thing, but I decided to reread Written and Read by Anne Bishop. So this is the first book in the other series. So I'm in the middle of rereading this one. We're a little past now. Yeah, so, I love this book. Okay, so on the reread, again, I read this in January for the first time, and then I've now finished the whole series. And rereading this book, she had so many little details. This is what I love about rereading, is all the little details that I didn't catch because I didn't know how important they would be. There's so many in here. I'm so glad this is going to be a great reread series. I can already tell. I'm already excited to reread the whole series. Now that I've finished it, I want to reread it. I know. But that's the way I work. When I find a series that I like and characters that I love and I want to read about them, I will reread. And I'm a big rereader in a lot of ways. I think there's people out there who reread more than I do, but I at least usually pick up at least 1 or 2 books every month that it's a reread. I mean, there are months that sometimes I don't have time, or I didn't feel like it. And then other times I'll read, many more than just 1 or 2. So I picked this one up to reread this month, and I am so glad I did. As I said, I read this on Thursday night and Friday, and I did read some of it last night too. I'm using it as a buffer with my Tome Topple right now, as in reading some of that, and then I'll read this. But this is just, as I said, this is just phenomenal. It's the first book in the series. This is when you're introduced to all the main characters for the whole series, and as I said, I love this book and you should all read it. I love it. Anyway, so I am rereading that. And then my Tome Topple I started, and God's Last Breath by Sam Sykes is the book I'm reading first. This is the 3rd book in the Bring Down Heaven trilogy. I've been meaning to finish this series since last year when I read the other 2 books. Just didn't get to it, but I'm diving right back in. I've only read about 50 pages, I think 58 pages of this is 666 pages. So I only read 58 pages yesterday because I went to my friend's house for dinner, and so I put it down. And then when I got home, it was too late. I just went and reread Written and Read instead. So today I'm going to pick this up and hopefully get a good chunk of it done. I won't get as much done because I thought I had all day, but I do have something I have to do later this afternoon. So that I forgot about. Anyway, so, but this is epic fantasy. It has to do with 6 travelers, or 6, adventurers, mercenary, I would say adventurers. By this time, they're all in different directions, and things have gone to hell, and they're all dealing with it. I don't know how else to explain this. These are just, they're epic, but they're like fun and kind of absurd, not like absurd, like stupid absurd, just like, wow, that would totally happen. You can see someone's totally doing something stupid like that in that moment. And so These are fun. Anyway, so as I said, I've only read about 58 pages. I'm just getting back finding out where all the characters were at the end of the last book, because it's been a few months. It's been about 6 or 8 months since I read the last book. So I'm kind of getting back into it, and getting back into where they're at. I mean, I remembered a lot of it, but again, it's good to have it's reminding me where they are. And so I figure it's going to be a pretty fast read, I think. I still think it's going to take me all week, though. I don't expect to finish that until, maybe Saturday or Sunday. We'll see. I mean, I'd like to finish it this week, I guess, is my goal is to finish it within the week, but I'm not going to say that's going to happen. Because, as I said, I read those other books super, super fast, but this is a little bigger holding of the book, and also I really want to reread Written and Read, so we'll see what happens. So, and then I have backups, as in what books I'm going to pick up next, which are one of the 3 that I have for Tome Topple, either The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco, which is the oldest book on my TBR, The Tenant of Wellfell Hall by Anne Bronte, which is a DNF that I want to give it one more shot, and then a science fiction space opera, Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey, which is a book that I want to start this series. Because, see, I'd finish a series if I finished the Sam Sykes one, and then I'd start another one. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so that's everything. I know it's very Anne Bishop heavy, and then a little rant in the middle, and then big tomes at the end. So we'll see. So if I didn't say that, Tome Topple is put on by Sam at Thoughts on Tomes, and it's running from April 13th through the 26th. So if you want to join in, it's still early enough. You just have to read books that are over 500 pages. She has some prompts and things, but as I said, just read over 500 page books and you'll be fine. So anyway, I'm gonna go. My cat is like playing with all my pencils on my desk, and I need to go get him. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.